with the Muslims spawning in the north corner of the map on Dry Arabia, playing as the Malians, and in the south we have got the Mista playing in blue as the Ottomans. Dry Arabia is the map. We're getting the show match underway. We're going to have 5 matches today, so I'm certainly looking forward to this epic show match between two fantastic Age of Empires 4 players. Going to be showcasing these two new civilizations, with the Malians being quick to get that pit mine. Of course, we'll be looking to get that passive gold income, getting those houses as well. Now each house actually gives a population of 5 for the Malians, as opposed to what you'd normally expect for the other civilizations being 10. And plenty of villagers on sheep. Going to get that food. Of course, food and gold, the main resources you need to get up to the next stage. That feud age, which both players will be looking to get. And we see a couple of villagers on gold here already for the Mist, of course. Going to go for 4. He's got 7 villagers on food, so it'll be really interesting to see as time progresses how the build orders emerge, how the pro players decide to actually play these two civilizations. And well, we're going to have a sneak peek today with this show match between the Mista and the Muslim. Just the one scout being chosen to be played with here. The Muslim is taking a couple of arrow fires there, but of course won't lose that scout. And same with the Mista. Both players opting for one scout. It's kind of the meta these days at the moment, getting just a singular scout to get as many sheep as possible. But I'm super excited to see these two new civilizations and the game mechanics that will be involved, as we see the Mista going up to the next stage. Depending, it'd be interesting to see what landmark he chooses. It's going to go for the twin minaret madrasa, but it's going to be giving the Ottomans a mill essentially, and enables them to grow 4 berry bushes, which can be harvested at 50% faster rate, which is fantastic. And their berry bush is actually regrown after 120 seconds if depleted, so it is technically an infinite source of food. What's interesting is I think this was his original berry bush, so it'd be pretty cool to see where the berries are actually built when the landmark or where they spawn when the landmark is built. Going to be using here 4 villagers to build that landmark, so using pretty standard build orders for a generic civ. Of course, the Muslim have opting or having to really change the kind of build order because they have access to the pit mine, passively generating that gold. 75 gold per minute, it's effectively the equivalent of 2 villagers on that gold. Not too terrible at all, as we go for the Mansa quarry here for the Muslim, playing as the Malians, which generates 75 gold per minute, but can also be told to generate stone instead. So could be getting 150 gold per minute from these two structures as he progresses to the feudal age. But this is super interesting, the Mansa quarry, because much like other civilizations like the Rus, for example, you can kind of hide the fact that you might be opting for a second town center. If he toggles this to stone, obviously it'll be delayed, it won't be instant, but it'll take about a couple of minutes and then you'll be able to afford a second town center. But alternatively, having stone could mean that he could drop a keep defensively or aggressively once he reaches the castle age, if he so wishes to save up for a keep with that stone. But of course gold would help him get up to the castle age himself, and the Malians are pretty heavy on that gold in terms of the units cost, so it'll be interesting to see how he plays this. The mill going down for the Muslim. I definitely like the new skins. It's actually looking so nice here. The fact that it's just different from the other civilizations going on the berry patches there. And with the twin minaret madrasa, you can probably see where the berries are. That looks like they're on the other side. Oh no, okay, no, these are the... Wait, are these the new ones? I think this might be his original ones then. Don't know if that was there on the map before. Might have been, may have just missed it. We see a stable opening here coming out from Mr. Going to be looking to get some feudal aggression, and behind that a second town centre. But I hope you guys are enjoying the casted content that I'm putting out there on YouTube at the moment. And if you're watching on the live stream, welcome. Hope you are all doing very well. And if you're watching the VOD afterwards, not on the live stream itself, thank you for sticking around and choosing to watch this video. You could have been watching anything else. You chose to stick around on this Age of Empires 4 channel, as we see a stable opening here for Demuslim as well with the Malians. And we'll be looking at some of the units here. We can see the Sipahi being trained here for the Mista, which is an interesting unit. It's kind of like a halfway between... let's just take a quick look at the tooltip. It's a fast cavalry, effective at raiding. Of course, it's got that movement speed, and it's almost like their horsemen essentially. And the high movement speed is actually really quite effective for the Ottomans here. You see he's making his way across the map pretty damn fast. They do also have the Mehter, which is a unique unit for the Ottomans, which can support the other military units. This isn't actually a unit that has a weapon as itself. It's a war drummer, and you can toggle different abilities with this Mehter to increase the capabilities or kind of bonuses that your army will have. As he spots the stone outcropping being mined there, so both players looking for that second town centre. which is very much the meta type play at the moment to get that second town centre, to get the economy rolling into the feudal age. Okay, now just a quick reminder, this show match is sponsored and hosted by egctv, a fantastic channel for Age of Empires 4 content, and do check them out on their Twitch channel. They do a lot of live streams of Age of Empires 4 content. Obviously the Road to Red Bull Wallow is hosted by them, and they're pretty much a cornerstone of the Age of Empires 4 online competitive scene community. As we see the second town centre coming out for the Mista on the Deer Patch, and the second town centre going there for demuslim on the right side on that wood line. Right, looking good, looking good. Hey, Elvino Trading, what's up there in the chat? Hope you're doing well. All good, all good. Just taking a look at the new civilizations again. Some more casted content. Looking forward to this show match between these two players. There are going to be 5 matches, so lots of games for us to feast our eyes on and see how these two players play this out. But looks like a very passive opening for both players. Really kind of doubling down on that eco and getting the second town centre. As we can see, oh, new berry patches coming out. So actually, so this is the original berry patch they had, and it just spawns all the way around. It looks very, very nice there, the twin madrasa. It's very, very good indeed. As we see the military school coming out for the Ottomans, very interesting building. It costs wood and stone, but it can be assigned to produce a single type of unit continuously at no cost for free, which is fantastic. Very, very nice. Question is, do you know whether the DLC is geo-restricted? It shouldn't be, mustn't be. Patch not available in Switzerland? Oh, I didn't know that. I mean, it has to be on Steam, I know that much, I believe. I believe it has to be played on Steam. Do check on the official website to see how you can actually activate it, because it may not be... You do have to change a few settings. It's quite quick and easy, but you do have to change a few settings to actually activate the live build for the new DLC. It's not just usual click and play. There are a few buttons you've got to press, but not that many. As we see a couple of these Sipahi going towards burning down the pit mine. I hope that helps, Elvino. Let me know if it does or doesn't. As we see a couple of warrior scouts coming out for the malians. Now what's interesting for the malians is that they can actually get the scout upgraded, so they can get veterancy for that, and can go all the way up to elite. So we could see some shenanigans, especially if the hands of the Mista. Obviously he's not playing the malians in this first game, in game number 1, but we've seen Mista go for a couple of landmark snipes in high level tournaments before, and it's worked. So you know, he might be looking for using those elite scout warriors. That'd be pretty cool if he does. So we see a double military school coming out, and the blacksmith actually supervised, or not supervised, but kind of boosts the production speed of the military school. As you can see, within the influence, the military unit production rate is increased, and especially with the influence, if it's within the influence of the blacksmith or a university, and the Istanbul Observatory increases the bonus by 60%, which is rather large. We see a couple of these Sofa coming out for the Malians. Can we denying some of the gold villages, kind of pushing and poking and prodding. Let's take a look at the Sofa up, because that's an interesting unit specifically for the Malians. It's a cheaper heavy cavalry for reduced health and armor. Now it's kind of a halfway house between a horseman and a knight. It's got a cheaper cost. It does have a very high movement speed itself, so it's an interesting one because it's countered by spearman and crossbow. So it's kind of like a heavy armored unit, but it's got the heavy movement speed and it's cheaper. It will be interesting to see the tool tips and the stats comparing it to a knight later on in the game if we see some knights, as we see a couple of the Sipahi just going around the gold mine, preventing the mining of the gold easily for demuslim. Now, one thing to bear in mind, the Sipahi does have fortitude as an activated kind of ability that they have, which increases the attack speed by 50% and receives 50% damage from melee units, from melee weapons though, for 10 seconds. So it's got an attack speed, but it does receive some damage, so it's pretty good against arch units. If you've got a ball of archers, you can activate that and take them out very, very quickly. As you see, demuslim getting the berries here in a very exposed area. Only has 2 of these sofas there to protect those villages. We see one villager go down. We should end up seeing... Oh no, he survives. Oh, there's a bit of a mismicro there for the Mista, not getting that killed in the end. Missed out on that kill, but in any case, both players are starting to wall up here. Palisade walling to the left of the edge of the map for the Mista. But what's so nice, as you can see, the Mista constantly getting military units out on the field without having to spend any resources to do so. That's not the fastest thing in the world, but every little bit helps as the villagers do garrison inside the town centre. We'll be getting quite a bit of damage on the warrior scout, but that scout tanked a lot of damage there from the town centre. That one was likely to go down now. Does indeed. And, it's a fight that Mr. can probably take here, and it's going to be safe taking that gold again. As you can see, he's probably opting for that second town centre. Sorry, the second age rather, castle age, because it looks like he's got plenty of food. He's got a decent amount of gold himself as well. As we see the units going around on the west side now, as a third town centre coming out for the Mr. Really playing it greedy on the eco. Interesting choice to do so. So that town centre is now being built with 10 villagers. And going up to the castle age as well. The Istanbul Imperial Palace, the build order looking fantastic for the Mr. I think I have to break this game down afterwards because, holy smokes, he's really fast up to the castle age, has to be said, as the second pit mine does come down there for demuslim on the north. It's actually walling up on the east side as well. It's surprising how much he's been able to afford, as we see a third stable coming down for demuslim, but looking to get up to the castle age himself, but the Mr. having such a fast uptime. Let's take a look at the Istanbul Imperial Palace whilst it's being built. Doubles the Imperial Council experience around the landmark and increases the Vizier point by +2. Now the Vizier point system is very interesting for the Ottomans. They've got these technologies that they can research. As you can see, you've got Anatolian Hills, got some extra sheep there by spending some points, and will be interesting to see how he decides to spend the next couple of points. As you can see, he can unlock one more. What has he gone for? He's gone for fieldwork, spawning 2 imams. This is so interesting as a build order. You can see exactly what his thought process is. He's getting 2 imams, he's up to the castle age, and that means he'll be able to actually pick up some relics on the map. And the Muslim playing the Ottomans incredibly... Sorry, the Mr. rather, playing the Ottomans incredibly nicely here. As he does get to that castle age, and look at the imams. They're going to be going out straight away. Let's just see where they are. Where are those imams? Are they already away? Yeah, they're already out and about. Look at that, he's already out and about, trying to get those relics and give some really nice power spike into the castle stage. Bit of a timing thing there for the Mr. Getting there nice and early to pick up some of those relics. And the third town centre as well means his village count will be looking pretty healthy. 63 for the Mr. 60 for demuslim, so he's not far behind. As he goes for the Farimba garrison, demuslim looking to get the military out. He's sticking with the 2 town centres so far. The Farimba garrison enables the quick production of barracks and archery range units 5 at a time. And the cost is also converted to gold and reduced by 20%. So this is why the Malians can be a very gold heavy civilization. The units from that landmark only cost gold, and they do have that 20% discount, and it can pump out those units pretty quickly. Kind of reminds you a bit about the Burggraf Palace for the Holy Roman Empire, as we see knights entering the field for the Ottomans. These guys look incredible. Let's actually take a look at the stats composition or comparison between a knight. As you can see, he's got 230 health, 36 attack, versus the Sipahi, which has 135 health and 9 attack. So you can see the Sipahi incredibly, well, a lot weaker compared to the knight, as expected. Let's take a look at the Sofa though. 155 health and 16 attack. So you can see 16 attack, pretty decent there. Certainly better than the Sipahi. You see quite a lot of outposts there, protecting the deer patch with arrow slits and placements as well, and spring order placements, I believe. Really wants to protect that food economy, doesn't want to take any risks there. You see a knight heading forward on his own, getting scouting information more than anything else. As time goes on, the villager lead will start to build up here for Mr. Already 77 versus 68, as we see a couple of knights here heading towards those villages. A lot of the villagers trying to garrison inside, but some of them may go down before they enter. A lot of them do survive. Don't forget, textiles is in play for demuslim and the Malians, as they do have another technology they can research from the town centre. Banco repairs, where buildings are repaired 100% faster. Now this does actually still work on siege units as well, so bear that in mind. This technology, Banco repairs, means that villagers can repair siege units 100% faster as well. So if you thought the repairing system for repairing siege was broken, well, I mean, if you get this, then it's going to be pretty crazy, that's for sure. Army is starting to build up here though for the Malians. Go for veteran archers. Quite a few warrior scouts onto the field. With the warrior scouts, it'd be interesting if he did go for professional scouts. I mean, there is quite a few deer patches there. He's got quite a few warrior scouts as well. Not just 2 actually so far. Most of them are Sofa. They've got the veterancy upgrade as well. Now we can see the military school is toggled on spears, archers. 2 of them are on archers. 3 of them are archers. So certainly the Mr. opted for quite a decent number of archers here onto the field, being trained in the military school. Let's have 3 stables as well to produce from if he so wishes, as he does also have 2 relics in the bank. And that's what we discussed earlier, going up to the next stage and using the Vizier points to get 2 free imams. Was a pretty nice play, nice strategy there for the Mista. We know the Mista as I guess a strategy connoisseur. He's certainly one of the minds that is great in Age of Empires for coming up with strategies like that. And certainly that's one of the vizier points you want to start thinking about using when you get up to the castle age to get those 2 free imams. And he used the, I think it's called the Anatolian Hills, getting those sheep as well to really boost that economy. Alrighty. Okay, there's a message in the chat. I like the stream. The video quality is not great. Oh, that's rather surprising. I'll just double check the settings then. It should be 1080p. A bit odd if it's not, but I will double check that for you. Let me know if anyone else is having problems on the stream itself for these casted games. I would like to know if it's on my end or others. The bitrate is certainly very good. Okay, a couple of veteran software coming out here on the right side as well. Coming towards the south, going to be looking to do some damage. We see we keep going up here for the Mista. Going to offer him a lot of protection, especially on that woodline which has been raided. Of course, he's moved over to the western woodline, going heavy on stone as well, still staying heavy on stone. So we'll potentially be able to look to get a second keep on the map as well. Does have enough stone for a second keep as well, actually. Maybe looking to get a good amount of map control. Maybe on a sacred site, walling up the sides on the east as well. It's now in the middle. A couple of knights there going towards a veteran suffer. Might be the case that Mr. takes an engagement here. He's charging in with his knights. Starts to back off, at least for now. Can that keep looking amazing for the Ottomans, as you can see. We get up close and personal. I definitely like the architecture of the new civilizations. They are looking fantastic for me. Especially the malians in particular, but the Ottomans, look at that. Looks like a beautiful structure. So we need to focus now onto the action. There's a villager that might go down there to the wolf. A large army here building up for demuslim, heading towards the middle of the map, looking to be aggressive now. He knows he's kind of on a timer because the villager lead will be in the favour of the Mista being on 3 town centre. Demuslim on 2 town centre means that he will need to be the one being aggressive, and he will need to be the one taking the initiative, as he is doing so, going up with the veteran suffer, veteran archers as well. Oh, the keep's not going up in time on the right side. All the villagers, they will go up in the end, but might lose a couple of villagers. There's a garrison inside the keep, so not terrible timing for the Mista. Could have been better. Will lose a couple of villagers, does have some villagers to spare compared to his opponent. Need to garrison. Oh, the eco will be idled now, but we need to see where the army is here for the Mista. He went here on the west side, looking to get raiding damage of his own. Demuslim is aware of it. He sees it with their outposts, and the concern for Demuslim is that he doesn't necessarily have that many units that can siege these buildings down. Has predominantly archers as the knights head through and get a lot more villager kills, you feel. Looks like the raiding damage a lot more better for the Mista. As the villagers retreat behind the walls, spearmen coming out here, the Donso rather. So the malians have access to the Donso, which is a spearman equivalent. And we see quite a few villagers going to have to garrison in that capital town centre, but not too much in the way of villager kills here for demuslim. Let's pick off one. Now, just outside the Twin Minaret. Idling a lot of the farming economy now, though. Both players look to be aggressive, but the concern for the Mista is that Demuslim is fully walled, so he has to bring his army back home as he heads towards the keep, and the villagers will be going down now. Knights are heading back home, but trouble for Demuslim. He's got so many archers, and there's no real counter to the heavy cavalry here. There's no Donso here where he needs it, and this is a problem for Demuslim. He's going to lose everything. He dived a little bit too deeply there without having too much in the way of siege of taking production buildings down, and this is the problem for Demuslim. He's got no real access to reinforcements coming here on the right side with a couple of units, a couple of veteran software, but they're not going to be coming to the rescue. They're just chilling out. The knights circle those archers. Wait, where are they going? The knights just turn around, sandwich them in a little bit, and Demuslim will lose everything here, and that's not necessarily what he wanted. Lost a lot of military, and it does mean now that Mista has a lot of units on the field. A Mangana on the field as well, taking out what's left of those archers, and Demuslim is going to be under pressure very, very quickly. Does have 44 military on the field though somehow still. He's got them back home defending and protecting his economy. Got a bit of raiding damage. Let's take a look at the village count. 104 for the Mista, 87 for Demuslim. All things considered, pretty even as they started off, but the concern is the heavy cavalry coming forward for the Mista. These are premium units, high-cost gold units. And Demuslim is still sticking with the archer line, and that's not going to cut it against these knights. The archers will only tickle the units, and the Mista opting for that kind of classic army composition of knights and archers. And there it is, the The Mista takes game number one. The Muslim taps out. And it was kind of a bit of an anticlimactic ending.